Well, back in UK.
Back in the UK.
How's that feel?
Just good. I mean, it's been 5 years, so we were very emotional. The thing is, we played here supporting in a supporting like as support band on tour 5 years ago. So it was our first time. We didn't really know how many people really do know about the band, you know. Now, after we were we've received so many requests and so many questions about when are we coming back, that it's quite a pleasure. You know, yesterday was fun, and I think tonight is going to be even more fun, and tomorrow even more fun, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, we're excited, of course.
So who are you playing with today?
We are on tour with Dragon Force and Amaranth.
All right. Yeah. It's a little bit different genre. Is it okay with you?
Absolutely. Why not? I mean, it's quite fun to have a diverse audience, because you get the opportunity to show to new people your music, your art, and hopefully gain new listeners. You know, how else you're going to gain new listeners if you're going to continue to play your own shows only, or only shows of your own genre, which I don't even know what genre that would be, because we have such diverse songs.
Yes, that's true. So what's new in Infected Rain?
What's new? Well,
new members in the band, or
oh, that's not new anymore. That's already a year almost. Come on.
I didn't know.
Yes, last year we had a lineup change in the band, and right now Infected Rain is formed by 4 musicians instead of 5. I like to jokingly call us the ABBA of metal.
Okay.
2 women, 2 men. A lot of room for activities on stage, for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's nice. It's slightly different, which I like, something fresh. Some sort of balance is present in the band right now, and I like that.
So you like tattoos. What that means for you?
The tattoos? Tattoos to me mean some sort of inner expression. But most of all, to me, tattoos are an extra garnish or garnishment, what is the right word, for your body. That's all. Because yes, a lot of tattoos have very important, deep meaning, but some tattoos are strictly for aesthetics, and that's okay, you know, because from the beginning of time, people were just doing tattoos that would only mean the difference from one tribe to another, and so on, and it was strictly aesthetical type of difference, so yeah, that's what it means. Simple.
Good.
Yeah.
The music wise, is there going to be any changes, or you kind of keep it? What are you doing?
We don't plan any other changes. I mean, I feel like there was a pretty significant change when we changed the lineup. It's been a pretty significant change with this new album as well, because of how the writing and composing process was. And we have many songs now in 8-string guitar, which is a significant change as well. Yeah, we don't really plan these things like up in advance. They just happen naturally.
Yeah.
Hopefully this year is going to be a very interesting year, because we are going to try and visit places that we've never been before. We're still working on it. I can't disclose much for now, just in case it doesn't happen. Okay. So I don't want to upset anybody or give people false hope, but we are doing our best to arrive to places that we've never been. So hopefully that will open, new doors and, new listeners and new opportunities for the band.
So do you remember any festivals this year you're going to show up?
Yes. We actually are coming back to the UK with Deprivation Festival,
okay,
and with Bloodstock. festival.
Blastek as well.
Yes, as well. Cool. Very happy about it. I also heard it's going to be a memorial for Lemmy, and his ashes will be there, which is quite emotional. Wow. Yeah, but we will have many festivals. To be fully honest with you, I won't be able to give you the full list because the entire summer, every weekend we have festivals.
There's something going on.
Yeah, it's quite a list.
So do you like touring, and do you like to be on a tour? What's the downside? Let's say, what's the downside?
The downside of being on tour is the traveling. And I don't necessarily mean the traveling during the tour, even that could be sometimes, but it depends. Like, for example, if you rent a nightliner, it's a little bit easier because you have a person in charge of, when to drive, at what time, and where to park, and you don't have all this things to solve and problems to So
you stay in a bus the whole tour, and you have
kinda in a way, Yes. But also it could be more difficult because sometimes, especially when it's like a one show and then you come back, we have to either fly or drive there, ourselves, which can be quite challenging for many reasons. I'm not a big fan of traveling, especially when it comes to using airports, train stations, because it's difficult. And I'm normally always alone, and I have a lot of bags, and I have my dog, and I have, a certain type of appearance that people don't really trust very well, even if I try to ask a question because I'm confused or lost or anything like that. And I'm not even talking about all the other stuff that can happen, like with customs, when they are very judgmental when they see the way you look. And not in every country, of course, but some countries more than others, let's say that. That's the only down part, because other than that, I really don't mind this so-called gypsy lifestyle, because when you are on stage, it's all worth it. When you're facing the crowd, it's all worth it, no matter what. So yeah, if I could choose a downside, it would be the travel, to the tour and back home, or something like that.
What was the worst country you ever show up on the airport? What was the hardest time they give you? Do you remember?
I think it was quite chaotic in Bucharest, Romania. They lost my bag.
Oh.
And then, good thing I flew in a day before the show, and it was the first show of the tour.
Oh.
And the show went fantastic. And everybody that is part of that, production and organizing this event are absolutely great people. But unfortunately, the airport was quite chaotic. No one even told me that my bag is not there. And after waiting for 2 hours for my bag and nothing showed up. Wow. And people were waiting for me, right? And
yeah.
Imagine if I had to leave the country next day.
That's it. Yeah.
Good. And I had everything there. Oh. Stage clothes, everything, literally my everything, my underwear. I couldn't even, I would have gone on stage with whatever I flew in but I did, write a complaint, and I explained the severity of how important this bag is for the tour.
Of course.
And I think they can do certain, they can prioritize certain bags somehow.
Okay.
And I got it next day, but it was again another 2 or 3 hours lost because of that. And when you ask them why is this happening? Because I was not the only one. There were so many people.
Yes.
Their answer is, we don't have enough people.
Ooh.
But prices for all these tickets are so expensive.
Exactly. Yes.
Why don't you hire enough people? Why don't you pay enough the people that already work there? Because us passengers, we pay so much money to travel.
That's it, yes.
And with years, it becomes more expensive and more expensive.
Sure.
And it blows my mind that, these things still happen. And yeah.
Well,
it was found, so I was okay, but it was a close one.
So you almost end up in underwear on the stage looks like.
Not in underwear, like definitely
Like
with
almost...
maybe without. Because I was wearing everything I flew in with for like another night. You know what I'm saying? Like I was able to only shower and I had to put the same clothes on.
Right.
That's, yeah.
What was the let's go to the other side of it. So what was the nicest thing you ever come across when you travel and something happened out of certainty? You just
Honestly,
something you remember?
Yeah, honestly, I want to give a big shout out to people that helped me with this travels to arrive to this tour. It was a very complicated travel from the United States to first show was actually supposed to be in Hamburg.
Oh.
And it was very complicated because there was strikes in entire Germany with airlines.
Oh, really?
So my ticket was canceled a day before I had to fly. And my show was like next day I was arriving, so I couldn't even move it for one day because it was also strike for 2 days.
Oh no. So
I had to invent a solution, and so I changed my ticket, and I had to fly to Amsterdam, which is very far, and I had to take 3 trains to arrive to Hamburg finally. And again, I travel alone with my dog with big bags, and train stations don't even have elevators. So it was so hard to even bring your own bag up the stairs because you have your backpack, you have your dog, you have the bags. And I'm not trying to complain, complain here. But, there are things that people definitely don't know that musicians go through. The insane amount of gear that we have to bring sometimes. And it's heavy, And I want to give big shout out to 2 very nice women that actually helped me, one in Amsterdam and one in Germany, that helped me at least reading right the directions, because my biggest fear was that I will either miss my stop or just get out first, because I don't understand the language.
Of course.
And they don't announce it in English. And the pronunciation is completely different. And also my best friend from my country, Anastasia, she lives in Germany. So I was able to always stay in touch with her so she could translate certain things for me. So big shout out to these amazing people that they went out of their way to actually help me. One lady even took me to the actual train station, even though she needed to go a completely different way. And she's like, you're going to be okay from here. From here, it's easy. And I'm very grateful.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You have to go all the trouble. Nobody, thinks most of the time,
Yeah, it's okay.
You have to, before you even show up on a stage, how much time you have to spend on the travel, how much time you have to do before you actually show up. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
For being here. And hopefully you will be touring UK, every year, not every 5 years.
Yeah, I hope so too. Even if it's not every year, but at least every 2 years. It's important. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lena. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're listening to Radio Bloodstream.